Welcome all. Today in this video we'll be watching how to do the basic configuration for speed reference mode in analog drive. So for that we need to communicate with the drive. So we'll use the Sigma Win software. So I'll click on connect to servo pack and I'll click on search. So I connected USB cable and I will click on search. So now you can see the drive and motor both are searched. So I have to click on connect. After connecting, you can see there is some alarm display called POT and NOT. To bypass that, either you can do it through hardware or through software. By hardware, you have to connect the wire between pin number 42 and 43. Or if you want to bypass without any hardware, then you need to enable 50A and 50B parameters. Now I am using 24 volt input for POT and NOT. Let us check what is the configuration. I will go and check for monitor and I will check for I/O configuration. So you can see pin number 42 and 43. So I will give pin number 42 first. So here you can see the alarm has disappeared and the input is high. I will give pin number 43 24 volt. So both the inputs are high now and we don't have any alarm in the drive. Now the drive is showing base block, that means BB. So if I give servo on, then it has to come as servo on here. But in the drive it is still showing BB. What is the reason for that? The only reason is either you are using a servo motor with absolute encoder. So please check what is the motor configuration before using. So now I am using a servo motor with absolute encoder. So I have to give send signal. If I give send signal, then I will get run command in my drive. So I will give send signal. So now you can see that I have given the send signal and I am able to run the motor. Or if you can see the status over here down, servo is on. If I remove the send signal and remove the servo on, so the servo is off. If I give the servo signal on, but here it is showing servo on, but in the drive actually it is still showing only base block. So I have to give send input. So once the send input is given only, then only your drive will be come to run mode. So I will give send signal. So now you can see send is on. Okay. One more problem which you will be facing when you are using analog input 0 to 10 volt reference. The motor seems to be rotating on its own. Since your voltage is also 0, but still your motor will be rotating. What is the reason for that? The only reason is there is some offset value. So there is some offset value. How to make the offset 0? Now it is already running in 1 RPM. So we want to make it 0. Now my reference is also 0, but still the motor is rotating. So what we have to do is we have to remove servo on. Then we have to go to menu. From menu there is an option for adjust the speed and torque reference offset. So click on this and click on adjust. So now I got a new value from my old value. Once servo is off, only we have to do this process. If servo is on, you will not be able to do this process. So click on speed reference and now you give servo on command. So I am giving servo on command. So now you can see the motor is in standstill. So after enabling the offset, the motor is in standstill. So this option will allow you to log the error amount which is coming from the. So now we'll try to run the motor in speed mode. For speed mode settings, you go to edit parameters, then click on the speed, and this is the parameter which you will be changing for your voltage reference. Now it is 6 volt. I will increase to 10 volt and write the parameter. So that means 10 volt will give me maximum RPM. So now I will try to give reference. So you can check in the IO allocations, additional informations. So my reference is still 0. I have to try to give some reference. So you can go back and check what is the RPM. So the now motor is running at 540 RPM. Okay. Now I can increase the reference. So now I have increased to 1500 reference. Okay. I'll try to come down and try to make it 0 reference. If I want to change the direction, I have a direction input. I can change the direction. See, I can change the input. So there is a direction bit I can change through my hard wiring. These are the basic inputs which are required for running in speed control mode, and we need to check only one parameter, which is PN000, which we have to select in speed control mode. Okay. Only if you make the drive in default settings, you will get all these options. Say for example, I have to run the motor in different voltage. For that, I need to go to speed reference and I need to change this to 9 volt. So for 9 volt, I will be able to run the motor at that much RPM. So 9 volt, you can monitor now what is the RPM. So it is 188. So I will change the direction. And you can check the speed variation. So it is around 400 RPM. Now I try to change the PN300 value to 600. That means 6 volt. The moment I try to update, the speed also changed from 400 to 590. So this is the way you change the speed of the motor through your voltage reference. So the minimum voltage reference will be around 1.5 volt and the maximum will be around 30 volt. but for reference we cannot go beyond 12 volt. Now I will try to change it to 10 volt and update, and the motor reference automatically comes down. So it is 354 RPM.